Hello, my name is Hanan Challouki. I'm here to tell you a little story about myself. And I'm going to start this story when I was 6 years old. My elementary school teacher used to describe me as a very quiet child. My parents used to tell everyone that I was very shy and that I didn't like to talk that much. But I grew up with 9 siblings. Yes, 9. I have 4 brothers and 5 sisters. So it was very easy to disappear in the crowd and to forget about my surroundings. But then I grew up and people started finding new words to describe me. One of the first ones being the word Muslim. By the time I was in my 20s, I was used to the fact that this was the first word, what people thought of when they saw me. Being a visible Muslim woman in Europe, Belgium to be precise, that's where I live. It means that I draw attention pretty quickly everywhere I go because of how I look and what I wear. So there are about 1.7 billion Muslims in the world. That means that about 1 in 4 people you could randomly meet anywhere in the world could tell you, hey, I'm Muslim. It's a huge and a very diverse community worldwide. It's influenced by different histories, different cultures, different habits. But 4 years ago, I was studying communication sciences at the University of Antwerp, and I Googled the word Muslim. And this is what I got. So just a bunch of scary images of terrorists, wars, violence. All these images I could never recognize myself in, me being a part of that community. So I figured how many people do this Google search and find the exact same thing. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to change that result. I wanted to change the narrative. And I believe that instead of standing on the sideline, it was time that we told our own stories, stories of empowerment, stories of inspiration, positive stories. So I teamed up with a co-partner, a co-founder, and we built the online platform Mvslim.com. Let's see. And it was built on these 3 words: inspire, motivate, unite. These were the 3 goals we always kept in mind. We wanted to inspire and motivate the 1.7 billion people that were part of this community, and we're looking for stories about themselves that aren't about terrorists or attacks. But we also wanted to reach out to the other 6 billion people on this planet and open their eyes. So basically, the stories that we created had to be understood by everyone who was looking for them. So that's why that 3rd goal of unite was very important for us, to build a bridge between different communities and make them see that they have a lot more similarities than differences with each other. And that's how we created Mvslim, with a V instead of a U, because Mvslim.com with a U was already taken. A lot of people are looking for like, what's the catch? What does the V stand for? It was just a simple creative solution. What kind of stories are there on Mvslim.com? All kinds of stories, going from J.K. Rowling surprising a Muslim fan to the first female president of Mauritius to a lot of articles about Muslim scientists that many people may have already forgotten. Also, humor was a very important element to us because there's nothing more universal than a laugh. So funny yearbook quotes, things our Muslim parents say, these were all things that could fit our narrative. We could go far and beyond to create a positive atmosphere around the Muslim identity, something that many people weren't used to. But who created these stories? There's only so much me and my business partner could do. We were still both in college. But we just started reaching out to the people that we know. Just like, hey, you're a good writer. Would you mind writing something now and then for Mvslim.com? And we realized everyone that we asked was always very positive and excited because they wanted to be part of a platform that was, in their eyes, very refreshing, renewing, finally something positive. And word started spreading that we needed others. So before we knew it, we had a team of over 500 voluntary writers represented in more than 30 countries worldwide, which means engineer students from Malaysia, literature students from Paris, artists from New York, anyone who wanted to write something and fit our narrative was welcome to join. And then there was that one big day. My 23rd birthday, I got the best birthday present ever, our very first viral article. I picked up the story from a local blog. It was about a policewoman, Kadra Mohammed, in Minnesota, the first policewoman wearing a hijab there. I thought it was a very positive story. It was already a year old. I didn't care. I didn't think many people had read it before. So I published an article about it, put it on the website, and it blew up. Before we knew it, we hit 500,000, 500,000 shares. That was crazy to us. That was changing the narrative. It not only changed our platform and boosted our website, it also impacted the life of Kadra Mohammed, the policewoman it's about. Because a couple of weeks later, there was the iftar dinner of back then, President Barack Obama. And iftar is basically dinner during Ramadan. It's a month where Muslims are fasting. And who did we see on the picture at the table with President Obama? Kadra Mohammed. So our story had even reached the White House, and that's how she got invited to join. For us, that was also a proof that a lot of people had seen the story, but also the impact that we could have with our platform. And it made us think, seeing that table filled with key figures within the Muslim community, role models, people that are doing positive things, we thought, hey, we could do that as well, and we should start organizing events, which we did. And that's how we also became community builders. We sold out 2 big events, one in Antwerp and one in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, where we gave inspiring people the stage to tell their story. So basically, the way we built Muslim online, we were now doing the same thing offline as well. And the bigger we got, the more people started noticing us and started writing about us. Mainstream media was picking up on us quickly, but the best part was they were using us as a source for their own articles. And I'm talking BBC World Radio, the New York Times, The Guardian. They were all bringing these topics that they never brought before and writing about it and putting Muslim.com as a source of information. For us, this was huge. This was the exact reason why we started the platform in the first place, to actively change mainstream media. And speaking of the start, everything that I've described so far has happened in the very first 6 months after we launched, and we didn't make any money with the platform. We had gotten offers from investors and people asking about native advertising, but the problem with a platform like Muslim.com is it can become political very quickly and used as a political tool, and we really wanted to avoid that. So what would we do to get the funds to keep the platform going? We built a new company. And we built a creative agency because a lot of the companies and local governments that saw our platform reached out to us and asked us, hey, how do you reach such a diverse audience? Because we have a lot of issues with reaching diverse groups of people. Our communications and our social media are not inclusive at all. So we had a chance to use our expertise with Muslim.com. We created an agency, and that's, in my head, how I became an entrepreneur. We had one main tagline, which was, we are building an inclusive society, wanna join. We're creating all kinds of inclusive social media strategies and creating campaigns where people could feel like they were represented. The advertising industry is a very white male industry in Belgium, so you can easily have the same messages created over and over again and not being suited for the super diverse society that we live in today. And then we got that phone call from Forbes. An editor called us and said, hey, you guys are listed as Forbes 30 under 30 because of your innovative strategies with Allyens and the platform Muslim.com. We were very hyped. We immediately took the train to London. We had a celebration with the other people from Forbes 30 under 30. We met the CEO of the American Forbes. It was a really nice celebration, and media loved it. Media in Belgium loved it. We got phone calls from every newspaper, every television station for an entire week. My phone kept buzzing. And after that week, I took a really long nap. I was so tired, and when I woke up, I got back to work. Because what I realized about entrepreneurship is even though that I was very excited and I thought it was an honor and definitely a recognition, people have a tendency to hype things really quickly. Definitely when it comes to entrepreneurship. A lot of people have romanticized the idea of founding your own company and don't see the daily struggles that come with it. So if there's one thing that I would give away to future entrepreneurs, maybe the ones sitting here, is that you have to realize that it only comes through hard work, perseverance, and let's be honest, a lot of luck. And a lot of people don't really say that. So people have been asking me, to take the stage and talk about my journey, but my journey starts fresh every day. Every day comes with new opportunities, new ways to take the stage, new ways to speak for myself. Because the biggest lesson I've learned in the past 4 years is this: if someone is telling your story, you take it back and you tell it louder. When I was 6 years old, I was described as a very quiet child, but I've learned that the only way to get somewhere is to be louder than ever. Thank you. Okay, and now it's question time. Whoa, you're such an inspiration. Thank you. We need more people like you for real. Do you think new generations are less racist and why? Oh, that's such a good question. I have to be honest, when it comes to politics, I'm seeing very dangerous tendencies, whether it's in the United States or in Europe. I see a lot of people are voting very far right. We just had elections in Belgium, and 80% voted for basically a Nazi political party. And that scares me, but I also still believe in the goodness in people. I also still believe that people are good at heart. And I believe that a lot of the issues and struggles we are seeing today is simply fear of the unknown. That's why I always, when I speak to non-Muslims about their fears or their Islamophobia, I always advise them, talk to a Muslim. It's not that hard to find them. We're basically everywhere these days. So I believe that the future generations don't have to be less racist, but they can have as much as fear of the unknown as the older generations do. Do traditional Muslim community respond well to your visionary initiative? First of all, thank you for calling it a visionary initiative. Well, when it comes to Muslims, we had very mixed reactions, just as we had with non-Muslims. Overall, it was very positive. Everyone was really excited about our platform, but you have extremists on both sides. So you had the extreme people that are very racist and say, oh, but you're all telling lies and Muslims are not that creative and they are not so progressive and so on and so on. And at the same time, you had the extremists on the other side, Muslims that are saying like, what are you doing? You should be more focused on religious practices and not on these kind of nonsense and so on and so on. So what I've learned is there are extremists everywhere, but it doesn't really matter. You just have to do what you want to do. Thank you very much.